All right,
Oh,
guys, I'm going to start a joke.
Yay.
All right, this one is about Boudreaux and
Oh.
Thibodeau. Now, Boudreaux and Thibodeau were sitting down at the Bayou Ball last week. Now, Boudreaux noticed a woman choking on a hamburger. He rushed to her side and he asks her if she can breathe. She shakes her head no. So he immediately pulls her out of her seat, yanks up her dress, and proceeds to lick her rear end. Now, in shock, the woman coughs up the hamburger, starts breathing normally. Now, Boudreaux calmly goes back and sits down at the bar and grabs his beer. Now, Thibodeau looks at Boudreaux and says, "Man, what the hell you call that?" Uh, the Heimlich maneuver works every time. I thought that one was funny as hell when I read
It
that.
is.
Heimlich maneuver. You got to think, if you choke and somebody start licking your booty hole, you're gonna cough.
Tiny lick maneuvers.
Now, Boudreaux was out in his pasture helping out one of his cows give birth when he noticed T. Boudreaux, who was about 4 years old at that time. Now, T. Boudreaux was standing by the fence, all wide-eyed, taking in the miraculous event. Now, Boudreaux think to himself, "Uh-oh, now I was going to have to explain the birds and the bees to little T. Now, maybe I'll just let him ask questions and explain whatever he asks is about." So he goes up to T and he says, "Well, son, you got any questions about this?" So T-Bo looks up at Papa and he says, "Just one, Pops. How fast was that damn calf going when he ran into that cow?" He ran straight up the cow's butt.
Uh,
Well, that's what T thought.
Pretty damn fast.
Pretty damn fast. All right, I'm going to do one more. And it's more about another animal. All right, a city guy was driving down a quiet country road that ran right in front of Boudreaux's house. Went out into the yard, strayed Boudreaux's favorite rooster, Smacko. Now, the rooster disappeared under the car in a cloud of feathers.
Oh
Because,
man.
city guy done ran over that rooster. Shaken, the man pulled over at the farmhouse, went and knocked on the door. When Boudreaux opened up the door, the man, somewhat nervously, he said, "I think I killed your rooster. Please allow me to replace him." Now Boudreaux said, "Well, suit yourself, mister. The hens are out back."
that's a good West Virginia one, yeah, buddy.
That's a good one.
All right,
Go to
that's
town.
three. Who wants to come up here and say just a couple, or a few, or more?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. I agree with
Lisa, are
that.
you telling some?
how's everyone tonight? We're so full packed here. It's great.
Amazing.
Um, when I was a kid, my sisters were 17 and 18 years older than me when I was born. So I was my dad's little girl, and I just, I was his buddy. I'd plow the drive with him. I'd paint with him. I'd shingle the roof with him. I was just his sidekick. So what I really wanted to do was go fishing. And he flat out said no. I took your two sisters fishing and I swore I'd never do it again. And I was like, well, you took them fishing. Why not me? And he was, well, they caught fish. I went, well, isn't that the idea? And he goes, you don't know what it's like to go fishing. A good day of fishing is you go out, you find a nice shady spot, you find a stick with a V in it to put your pole in, you put your line in the creek, you rest back, you put your hat over your eyes, and you go to sleep.
And you tie the line to your big toe.
And he goes, I spent more time baiting the hook and taking the fish off and baiting the hook. And as quickly as I baited the hook, there was another fish to take off. And I was like, okay. He goes, you just don't understand. That's not what fishing is all about. So I decided I was going to do some fishing jokes tonight.
Goody.
So one day, two guys, Frank and Bob, were out fishing, and a funeral service passed over the bridge they were next to. And Bob stood up, took his hat off, and held it over his heart. Frank says to Bob, wow, I didn't think you had it in you. And Bob says, hey, it's the least I could do. I was married to her for 30 years.
That was his wife's funeral.
Why did the vegan go fishing?
Why?
For the halibut.
Cute. For the halibut.
So now 3 fishermen are fishing when they came upon a mermaid. And she offered each of them one wish. First fisherman says, double my IQ. The mermaid does, and to the fisherman's surprise, he starts quoting Shakespeare. So the second fisherman says, triple my IQ. And the mermaid does, and he starts doing math problems he had never even knew existed. The third fisherman is so impressed that he says, quadruple my IQ. The mermaid says, are you sure about this? It will change your entire life. The fisherman agrees, so the mermaid changed him into a woman.
I'm laughing. I wonder why. Oh boy.
That's so funny.
So why are fish so gullible?
Why?
They fall hook, line, and sinker. And why is it so easy to weigh a fish? Because they have their own scales.
Yes.
And where did the fisherman go to get his hair cut? The barber shop.
Barber shop. The barber
The
shop.
barber shop.
Barber. Yeah.
Bobber. Oh, bobber.
And what kind of fish should you listen to when you, what kind of fish? No, what kind of music should you listen to when you fish?
I don't know. How about some fish?
Something catchy.
That's a good one.
The game warden came upon a young boy out with his pole in the water, and the game warden says, hey, didn't you see the no fishing sign? Young boy goes, I'm not fishing, sir. I'm teaching these worms how to swim. All right. All right. 3 priests were fishing when they ran out of bait. Now, the first priest stands up, walks across the water to get more bait, and comes back. After a couple hours, they ran out of bait again. Now, the second priest said he would get more. And he stands up and walks across the water and comes back with more bait. And after quite a while, they ran out of bait again. Now, the third priest says he'll get up the bait this time. So he stepped out of the boat and went straight to the bottom. First priest looks at the second priest and says, should we have told him where the rocks were? A monastery, yeah, is in financial trouble. So they decided to go into the fish and chips business to raise money. And one night a customer knocks on the door, a monk answers, and the customer says, are you the fish friar? And he said, no, I'm the chipmunk.
Chipmunk. Oh, that's cute.
And this is my last joke. Two guys are discussing fishing. And one says, I am never taking my wife fishing with me ever again. And the guy goes, huh? She was that bad? The guy goes, she did everything wrong. She talked too much. She made the boat rock constantly. She tried to stand up in the boat, baited the hook wrong, used the wrong lures, and worst of all, she caught more fish than me.
Leave our home next time for sure.
Yay!
All right.
Hey,
Big hand for Glee.
Yay, Glee!
awesome.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you.
That's a cute outfit too.
Thank you. My fishing outfit.
I wonder if I got any jokes in here about fishing. I'm not damn live on the bayou. You know they got the fish sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about
You can
fishing,
use
but
mine.
here's
Just
one.
put Boudreaux in there.
The
A
Boudreaux.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Boudreaux was out in the yard helping T. Boudreaux fly his brand new kite. Now, the only problem they was having was that every time they would get it into the air, it would do a spin and come crashing back down into the ground. Now, well, Marie, who's watching through the window, stuck her head out the door and yelled at Boudreaux, "You need more tail." Boudreaux turned, looked at his boy, and he said, "You know, T-Boo, I just can't figure out your mama at all. Last night, I told her I needed more tail. She told me to go fly a kite." There we are. Speaking of tail, now this is the 86-year-old Boudreaux, the old man. Now he was living down at the nursing home down Ambrose Bridge. Now one night, he rolled his wheelchair into the room where all the elder ladies were playing bridge. He held a clenched fist high up in the air and he announced loudly, "Anybody that can guess what I got in my hand gets to have sex with me tonight." Now, one of the female seniors replied sarcastically, "A watermelon." Boudreaux looked at the lady, looked at his closed fist, said, "That's close enough. You win. Let's go." I guess when I get into one of them elderly homes, I'll probably be like that. Dirty old man.
Oh, you don't want to ever be in one of them.
No, I don't. But that don't mean I won't end up there. All right, one more. Boudreaux had a young man named T. Roy. That's Troy for most of y'all, but T. Roy down
Okay.
here.
T-Roy. T-Roy.
All right.
T-Roy.
Roy.
Yeah.
Troy.
Now, this T. Roy was working for him as a farm hand down on the farm. Now, one day while working out in the fields, T. Roy had to answer the call of nature. So he walked over to a tree and proceeded to relieve himself. Boudreaux happened to glance over in T. Roy's direction, couldn't help but notice that that young man had the largest penis Boudreaux ever did see, ever. So he told T. Roy, he says, "Son, now I wasn't staring because, I ain't funny like that, but I couldn't help notice the size of your member down there. How in the world you get it so big?" Now T. Roy replied, "Well, it's no big secret. I just bangs it 3 times on the bedpost every night before going to bed. Every night." Now, that night, as he was getting ready for bed, Boudreaux thinks, "Man, what the hell? I'm going to try that myself. Can't hurt nothing." Well, it could, but, might not. Might be worth it. So he whacks his weenie 3 times on the bedpost. Now, Marie, half asleep, hears him and he wakes up and he says, "T. Roy, is that you?" Y'all don't get that?
Oh, I get it.
Marie recognized the three tumps on the bedpost. For y'all who didn't get that.
I got distracted by a
I
ion.
got it.
Sorry.
All right. Let's see. Can I get one more? Since we're talking about Marie.
Yeah, Marie. We love Marie.
See, I didn't expect Marie to pop into the picture on that one, but that was good.
All right. Marie was riding in the elevator in a building down in New Orleans when a young and beautiful woman got into that elevator, and she smelled real pretty. Now, noticing Marie, the lady says arrogantly and looking at Marie, "Romance by Ralph Lauren, $150 an ounce."
Hmm.
Talking about her perfume.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
All right. Couple floors lower, the door open. Another young lady come walking in, and also very arrogantly turns to Marie and says, "Chanel number 5, $200 an ounce." Man, these ladies here. About 3 floors down, Marie has reached her destination and is about to get off that elevator. As she leaves the elevator, she looks at both the women and, with the typical Cajun attitude, bends over, farts in the elevator, said, "Broccoli, 49 cents a pound."
That was a
All
Gleesa
right.
joke.
That was
Open
good.
mic. Who's
All
next?
right, I'll come up.
All
I'll
right.
come and do some
Why's
blondes.
coming
I
up,
even
and I'm
changed my
gonna.
hair color for this.
Well, yeah. Why
Awesome.
got the blondie jokes?
I haven't changed my hair color for this
Woohoo,
tonight.
why?
Yeah. All right, so
All right. Big welcome for why.
I couldn't get my old outfit on that Randy loved. I don't know why. I just didn't come in time to mess with it with this mesh avatar. So anyhow, this ventriloquist is touring the clubs and stops to entertain at this bar in a little town. He's going through his usual run of really silly blonde jokes when a big blonde woman in the fourth row stood up on her chair and goes, "Okay, jerk. I've heard just about enough of your denigrating blonde jokes. What makes you think you can stereotype women that way? What do a person's physical attributes have to do with their worth as a human being? It's guys like you who keep women like me from being respected at work and in my community, from reaching my full potential as a person, because you and your kind continue to perpetuate discrimination against not only blondes but women at large, all in the name of humor." Well, really flustered, the ventriloquist starts
Whoa.
apologizing. And when the blonde says, "You just stay out of this, mister, I'm talking to that little bastard on your knee," a blonde decides one day she's sick and tired of all these blonde jokes and how all blondes are perceived as stupid. So she's going to show her hubby blondes are really smart. So while he's off at work, she decides she's going to paint some rooms in the house. The next day, straight after her husband leaves for work, she gets down to the task at hand. When her husband comes home, about 5:30 at night, he smells the paint. He walks in the living room and finds his wife lying on the floor in a pool of sweat. He sees she's wearing a ski jacket and a fur coat at the same time. "Honey," he says, "are you all right?" She says, "Yes." He says, "Well, then what are you doing?" She goes, "I only wanted to prove to you that not all blonde women are dumb, and I wanted to do it by painting the house." "Well, then what the hell are you wearing a ski jacket over a fur coat for?" he says. "Well, I was reading the directions on that paint can, and it says for best results, put on 2 coats."
Oh my goodness.
A businessman gets on an elevator, and when he comes in, there's a blonde already inside. She greets him by saying, "TJIF." He smiles at her and goes, "SHIT." She looks at him puzzled and says, "TGIF" again. He acknowledges her remark by answering SHIT. The blonde's trying to be friendly, so she smiles her biggest smile and says real sweetly as possible, "TGIF." The man smiles back to her, once again says, SHIT. The blonde finally decides to explain, and she says, "Thank goodness it's Friday. It's Friday, get it?" The man answers, "Sorry, honey, it's Thursday." This blonde's overweight.
I've heard
So
that
her-
before.
Yeah, you have. This blonde's overweight, so her doctor puts her on a diet. I want you to eat regularly for 2 days, skip a day, repeat this for 2 weeks, and the next time I see you, you should have lost at least 15 pounds. When the blonde comes back, she's lost nearly double that. Holy cow, that's amazing, the doctor says. Did you follow my instructions? And the blonde says, yeah, but I can tell you, though, I thought I was going to drop dead by the 3rd day. Oh, from hunger, the doctor said? Hell no, the girl says, from all that skipping.
Oh, man.
This cop pulls alongside a speeding car on the freeway. Glancing at the car, he's astounded to see that the blonde behind the wheel is knitting. Realizing she was oblivious to his flashing lights and his siren, the cop cranks down his window, turns on his bullhorn, and yells, "Pull over!" And the blonde goes, "No, it's a scarf."
Oh, no.
That's a
Pull
fun
over?
one, too.
Not a pullover, it's a scarf.
This blonde's playing Trivial Pursuit one night, and it's her turn, so she rolls the dice and lands on science and nature. Her question is, if you are in a vacuum and someone calls your name, can you hear it? She thinks for a while, and she says, can I ask if it's on or off?
That's true.
I like that one.
A blonde arrives for her university final exam, which consists of questions only requiring yes and no answers. She takes her seat in the hall and stares hopelessly at the paper for 5 minutes, and then she has a fit of inspiration, takes her purse out, takes out a coin, and starts tossing the coin and marking the answer sheet yes for heads and no for tails. Within a half hour, she's done completely, and all the rest of the class is still writing madly. During the last few minutes, she's seen desperately, throwing the coin, muttering, sweating, cussing. The moderator is very upset, and he approaches her and says, "What's going on?" She said, "Well, I finished the exam in half an hour, but I'm just rechecking my answers."
Oh, God.
What do a blonde and a turtle have in common? Once they're on their back, they're screwed. What's the mating call for a blonde?
Come here, blonde.
I'm so drunk. What do a bleach blonde and an airplane have in common? They both have black boxes. That's awful. Oh my God. So a university lecturer has an anatomy class, and he asks his students to sketch a naked man. As he walks around the class looking at the sketches, he notices that a sexy young blonde student sketched a man with an erect penis. The lecturer says, "Oh no, I wanted it the other way." She goes, "What other way?"
There is no other way.
That's right.
What do you do if a blonde throws a pin at you?
Wow.
Run! She's got a grenade in her mouth.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's funny.
What did the dumb blonde say when she found out she was pregnant? "Gee, I hope it's mine." Three 17-year-old girls, a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead, are drinking in a bar, and suddenly a cop walks in, so they all run outside fast. He notices, and he follows him in the alley, and there's 3 garbage bags, but the girls are all gone. He walks over to the first garbage bag and gives it a little kick, and the brunette inside says, "Meow." The officer says, "Oh, it's just a bunch of cats." Then he kicks the next bag where the redhead's hiding. She goes, "Arf, arf." He goes, "Oh, it's just a bunch of dogs." Then he kicks the last bag where the blonde's hiding, and it says, "Potatoes, potatoes." This blonde's driving down an old country road, and she spots another blonde in a wheat field rowing a boat. She pulls over to the side of the road and stops the car, staring in disbelief, and she's watching this woman for a little while, and she can't stand it anymore. When she can't stand it anymore, she starts screaming to the blonde in the field, "Why are you rowing a boat in the middle of the field?" The blonde in the field stops rowing and says, 'Cause it's an ocean of wheat. The blonde standing on the side of the road is furious now. She yells at the blonde in the field. It's blondes like you that give the rest of us a bad name. The blonde in the field just shrugs her shoulders and begins rowing again. The blonde on the side of the road is beside herself. She shakes her fist at the blonde in the field and yells, If I could swim, I'd come out there and kick your ass. Oh, shit, I got my auto response on here. And Lenny was IMing me. At comedy. Yeah, at comedy. I'll send her a teleport, but she probably won't come.
Yeah, send her a teleport.
Yeah, I don't know if she's still, I guess she's still online. This blonde, redhead, and brunette are competing in the English Channel breaststroke competition. The redhead wins, the brunette comes in second, and there's no sign of the blonde. Hours and hours go by, causing really a lot of concern. Just as everybody's losing hope, the blonde finally arrives, and the crowd is so happy, and they embrace her as she comes ashore. And after all the excitement dies down, the blonde leans over to the judge and whispers, I hate to be a bad loser, but I think those other girls use their arms. It was the breaststroke. Two tourists are traveling through Louisiana. As they approach, and I need your help, Nick, is that Natchitoches?
It's Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches.
All right. As they approach Natchitoches, they start arguing about the pronunciation of the town. They argue back and forth until they stop for lunch. As they're standing at the counter, one tourist asks the blonde employee, Hey, before we order, can you please settle an argument for us? Would you pronounce the name of this place very slowly? And the blonde girl behind the counter says, Burger King. This blonde gets a dent in her car and takes it to the repair shop. The panel beater, noticing the woman's blonde, decides to have a little fun. He tells her all she's got to do is take the car home and blow in the exhaust pipe till the dent pops out. So the blonde goes home and gives it a try, but after 15 minutes of this, the blonde's friend, who's also blonde, comes over and asks, What are you doing? She says, I'm trying to pop out this dent, but it's not really working. The other blonde friend says, God damn you idiot, you got to roll up the windows first. This blonde's got a really sharp pain in her side, and the doctor examines her, and he says, You have acute appendicitis. And the blonde yells at the doctor, I came here to get medical help, not a stupid compliment.
Exactly.
A blonde goes for a job interview in an office, and the interviewer starts with the basics. So, miss, can you tell us your age, please? And the blonde starts counting carefully on her fingers for half a minute, and she goes, 22. The interviewer tries another straightforward one to break the ice. And can you tell us your height, please? The woman stands up and produces a measuring tape from her handbag, and she traps one end under her foot and extends it to the top of her head, checks the measurement, and says 5'2". Well, this isn't looking like a really good interview, so the interviewer goes for the real basics, something the interviewee won't have to count, measure, or look up. All right, just to confirm for our records, your name, please? And the blonde bobs her head from side to side for about 10 seconds, mouthing something silently to herself before replying, Mandy. Now, that interviewer is completely baffled. So he asks, What in the world were you doing when I asked your name? Oh, that, the blonde says. I was just running through that song, Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday, dear. This blonde sits on a bar, and she's sitting right next to a redhead, and they're both having a good time, and the news comes on. There's a woman reporter screaming out, This just came in. A man's at the edge of a cliff attempting to jump. Oh, the redhead leans over to the blonde and whispers, I bet you $50 that man's going to jump. The blonde says, You're on. So both the women stare at the news, waiting to find out what happens next. Finally, the man jumps. The blonde turns to the redhead and hands her the $50. The redhead, feeling guilty, says, I can't take that money. I saw the news earlier this morning. I knew he was going to jump off the cliff. And the blonde said, well, I saw it too, but I never would have thought he'd do it again.
Because only a fool was jumped twice.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What do you call a couple of blondes in the front seat of a car? Airbags. Did you hear about the blonde who bought a pair of water skis? She's still looking for a lake with a slope. What's the difference between a blonde guy and a blonde girl? The blonde girl's sperm count's higher.
Wow.
How do blondes' brain cells die? Alone. All one of them. All right, this blonde's visiting the interstate for the first time and she wants to see the art gallery but doesn't know how to get there. Fortunately, a cop comes walking past. Excuse me, officer. How do I get to the art gallery? The officer says, wait at this bus stop for the number 54 bus. It'll take you straight there. She thanks him and he walks off. And 3 hours later, the cop comes back in the same area. Sure enough, the blonde's still standing there waiting for at the same bus stop. The officer says, excuse me, but to get to the art gallery, I said to wait here for the number 54 bus. That was 3 hours ago. Why are you still waiting? The blonde says, don't worry, officer. It won't be long now. The 45th bus just went by.
At least you can count.
No.
Yeah. And my last one. What do blondes and cow pies have in common?
Uh-oh.
The older they get, the easier they are to pick up.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Ew.
true. That's true.
It is true.
At least
That's all I
about
got,
blondes.
boys and
I don't know
girls.
about blondes.
Well, I got a couple, Nick, if you want me to go.
Okay.
Or you
Oh,
want-
Yeah,
please,
no,
I'll
you
be
come,
next.
you come, you come.
Oh,
All right, everybody. Big welcome for Fiddler.
Yay, Fiddler! I can sit down.
I gotta turn
Hey,
it on.
Solemn's here.
Silently
Come in.
looming.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Awesome.
Good, I hope. Those were some awesome jokes from everybody. Ooh, Wyvern, Glee, Nick, and now I got some are kind of raunchy, so I really cut out the real raunchy ones, but because they were more stupid than raunchy. But I tried to keep some of the best ones. My theme tonight is like, you're getting old when type things, All right. You know you're 40 when you've been there, done that, but you don't remember what the hell it was. You know you're old when you stop growing at both ends and start growing in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
I like this one. You know you're old when you can cough, fart, sneeze, and pee all at the same time.
Because it takes years of practice.
You know you're getting old when the only females who pursue you are mosquitoes. All right, 50s. You know you're 50 when you knew when the Dead Sea was only sick. You know you're old when the candles cost more than the cake. That's for sure. 60s, that's just the stupid stuff. You know you're old, of course, when you hear your favorite songs in the elevator. And you also know you're old when you're told to slow down by your doctor and not by the police.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay, now for a couple of jokes. Give it to me, she says. Give it to me, she yells. I am so wet. Give it to me now. She could scream all she wanted, but the hell, I wasn't gonna give her that friggin' umbrella.
The honeymoon is over.
I thought it was going to be a towel with an umbrella.
They say that during sex you burn off as many calories as running 8 miles. Now, who in the world runs freaking 8 miles in 30 seconds?
That's good.
I'll admit it, I have a tremendous sex drive, but my girlfriend lives 40 miles away. Who's the most popular guy at the nudist colony?
The news
Nudist colony?
Nudist colony, yeah.
Oh.
colony.
The
Oh.
one who can carry a cup of coffee in each hand and a dozen donuts.
Oh boy!
What's the difference between kinky and perverted? Kinky is when you tickle your girlfriend with a feather. Perverted is when you use the whole damn bird. He says, I bet you can't tell me something that will make me both happy and sad at the same time. The husband says to his wife. She thinks about it for a second and then he says, your penis is bigger than your brother's. A woman walks out of the shower, winks at her boyfriend and says, oh, honey, I shaved myself down there. Do you know what that means? The boyfriend thinks for a second and says, yeah, it means the damn drain is clogged again. Damn it. Did you hear about the constipated accountant? He couldn't budget, so he had to work it out with a pencil.
I love that. Budget.
Why does a mermaid wear seashells?
Because she's a girl.
Because she grew out of bee shells. How is life like toilet paper?
I don't get what. How?
You're either on a roll or you're taking shit from someone. Oh, this is a good one. This is probably the raunchiest ones I have tonight. But a man and a woman started to have sex in the middle of a dark forest. After about 15 minutes, the man finally gets up and says, damn it, I wish I had a flashlight. The woman says, me too. You've been eating grass for the past 10 minutes.
Gross.
And last but not least, how is sex like a game of bridge?
Oh.
If you have a great hand, you don't need a partner. That's all I got, folks.
Yay!
Thank you.
No, they were great. Yay, Fiddler.
Good job.
Hey, Fiddler. All right. Big hand for Fiddler and his dirty jokes. I got a couple of more,
Yay.
Hey.
and we're gonna run a few minutes over. It looks like,
Okay.
but since we didn't start till a few minutes late, it doesn't matter. All right. After they had been married for a couple of years and being unsuccessful at having a baby, Boudreaux talked Marie into going to the doctor to see if they could find out what the problem was. Now, at the doctor's office, Marie explained the problem, and the doctor told her, I'm sure I can help you out. Take off all your clothes and get up on the table. Now, naive Marie, blushing profusely, said, well, okay, doc, but I really want to have Boudreaux's baby. Them doctors, you can't trust them. Can't trust none of them doctors.
Mm-mm.
All right, one hot day, one hot July day, Boudreaux saw a commercial on the television for Cajun home improvements. Now they was advertising the energy saving benefits of storm windows. Now, after talking it over with his wife Marie, they decided that it would be good to have them installed on their home and that year. Now, the following December, on a cold day, the policeman knocks on Boudreaux's door, slapped handcuffs on him, threw him in the back of the police car, and brought him down to jail. Locked him up. A few days later, Boudreaux appearing in court before Judge Thibodeau. Probably a different Thibodeau, y'all. Now, Judge Thibodeau looked across the courtroom at Boudreaux and he asks him if he knows why he had been brought to court. Now, Boudreaux responds that he has no goddamn idea. So Judge Thibodeau tells Boudreaux it is because he has not sent Cajun Home Improvements the money for his new windows. Now Boudreaux responds, man, Judge, the reason why I ain't sent them the money is because that damn salesman told me they would pay for themselves in 6 months. So now we're going to have one that's a little bit more funnier because it's got the word sex in it more than once. A man walked up to Boudreaux's house and he knocked on the door. When Maria opened up the door, the man asked if she knew how to have sex. Asked her if she knew how to have sex. Yeah. Now, not amused, she slammed the door in his face. Again, the man knocked and he knocked and knocked. He asked the same question. Again, she slammed the door in his face and screamed, "Go away." And later that evening, she told Boudreaux about what happened. He said he would stay home the following day just in case that man came back again. Because you never know. They got some crazy people in this world, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So sure enough, the next day, the man returned, knocking on the front door. And Boudreaux, now this time Boudreaux hid with his shotgun in the closet, like off to the side, while Marie answered the door. When she asked the man asked her again if she knew how to have sex. And she said yes this time. Good. Give your husband some sex so he'll leave my wife alone.
Ah.
Ooh.
I swear, y'all, that was more funny when I read it. I fucked it up.
No.
It is good.
That was good.
Yeah.
You just got to get down just a tad bit quicker. Like,
You know what's happening? I hear my echo because I'm recording
Oh,
and I
that's
got
what
two
it is.
voices and it keeps tripping me up.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, mute the other one.
I can't. If I mute it, then it won't record it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Damn.
But hey, that's my problem, not yours. I
But you're wearing a headset?
am.
Yeah, just take the ear parts off and hold the mic in front of your mouth while you're doing yours.
All right, let me try that.
Oh, he likes to hear
All
the
right.
response.
Hey, that is better. All right. T. Boudreaux's teacher asked him. All right, I'm gonna start over. T. Boudreaux's teacher asked him one Monday morning, "T, how was your weekend?" Now T replies, "Not too good. A pickup truck hit my dog square in the ass." Now the
Mm.
teacher, now she's used to the way T likes to speak, and she attempted to correct him and by saying rectum, and T looks at her and says, "Rectum? Hell no. Damn near killed him."
I
All
love
right,
that
it did
story.
work me saying it, but then I can't hear the feedback.
Oh, well, it'll be recorded,
Right.
so
The
you don't have to
feedback's
worry.
important.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say
Right?
one more, and then I'll call for open mic if anybody got any more. Otherwise, we'll shut it down. I got one more here I want to talk about.
Oakley dokley, brother.
All right. Old Boudreaux was on vacation down in Mexico when he was approached by a street vendor who kept asking. He said, hey, want to buy some Viagra? Only 500 pesos. Now Boudreaux tells him, nope, it ain't worth it. And the vendor again asks, how about 250 pesos? Boudreaux thinks about it. Nope, not worth it. Now again the Mexican asks, well, senor, how about some of these Viagras, a whole box of them for 100 pesos? Boudreaux again says, I told you, it ain't worth it. Now the vendor, he says, but senor, how can you say that it ain't worth it? I know for a fact that these pills, 20 bucks a piece back in America. And I'm giving you a whole box of them, like 500 for 400 bucks, 100 pesos. Now Boudreaux say, all right, let me explain to you. It ain't the price of the pills. It's my wife that ain't worth it. All right, with that,
Wow.
thank you everybody for laughing with us.
Thank
Thank you
you.
everybody for joking with us. And come back next week and give yourself
Thanks,
a big
Nick.
applause.
Will be. Yeah, we had fun, even with just the few of us here.